I'm going to do my standing prediction for the Pacific Division. So first place, same as last year, Anaheim. They had an amazing second half to the season. They started out a little slow, but they picked it up pretty well and finished first. So they signed Bull, Antoine Vermette, and Mason Raymond. And they traded for Bernier, but they also traded Anderson. So we'll see how that works out. So they have an amazing 4 centers, so all 4 lines have a pretty good center. I don't know how many teams are going to beat them in face-offs this year. Probably not a lot, with Getzlaf, Kessler, Raquel, and Vermette as the 4 centers. You can match whichever way you want with them. They probably Kessler and Getzlaf the first 2, and Vermette and Raquel are going to fight out for the 3rd, but anyone can move up in the lineup, so that's really good for them. So a very deep defense, very deep forwards core. Even the top 9 for sure is extremely deep, and then they have a pretty good 4th line too, so they should be able to shut down a lot of teams. And they also have a very good defense with a really young, not really young, but pretty young top 2 defense with Fowler and Vatanen, and Biekska's one of the older ones at 36, but he's still a pretty good defenseman. And we'll just have to wait and see if Gibson can perform when he gets those starter minutes. He has shown that he can be a pretty good goaltender, but he's never gotten starter minutes before. So hopefully he can perform with starter minutes. That didn't work at all. Second, I have San Jose. They have a great top 6. So great top 6 forwards. I'm not sure if Thornton can repeat what he did last year. He had a really good season when he had 82 points. And then they have some decent defense, and we'll just and Jones proved himself last year, so hopefully, especially in the playoffs, he really proved himself. So hopefully, he can transfer that over, and they might even come first in this division. So third, surprisingly, I have Calgary Flames. So they just signed Monahan, and they're probably going to sign Goudreau couple days. So obviously their biggest need last year was goaltending, because they had horrible goaltending last year, and picking up Elliott should for sure improve it. He's a pretty decent starter, just outside the top 10, probably 13th to 15th in the league, and he's proven that he can do it over quite a few years now. It's not like he's had a fluke year. He's had some pretty good years. So they have a solid top 9 forwards. Their 4th line's okay. I wouldn't say it's good, but they do have some pretty good defense, so they should easily get the 3rd spot. 4th, another surprise, which this division could have been like my worst prediction division, but this is what I believe in. So 4th, I have the Oilers. So their defense, they have the deepest forward core that they've had in a long time, and obviously we expect McDavid to take a big step in points because he missed most of the last season. He's probably going to get like 85 to 90 points, which hopefully will shoot them into that 4th spot. Maybe make the playoffs. I'm not too sure. It's going to be questionable. They've improved their defense. They don't have a great defense yet, but they've improved it with Larson, and hopefully they can just get enough defense that, because they're going to get a lot of offense, so let's hope they can get enough defense to do really good. The only really big wild card is if this is the year that Tellett has to prove he can be a starter, or else I don't see him getting another starter role in the NHL, probably just a backup. So he's going to have to prove it this year, because if not, he's probably just going to be a backup his whole career. So 4th, I have the LA Kings. So my prediction is they'll have a big drop. They won't be able to score enough with their top 6 forwards, because Gabour's getting old. Not too old. He's 34, so. But obviously Kopitar is going to produce, but I'm not too sure about the top 6. Other than their top line on defense, they have an okay defense. Obviously, Doughty is one of the best defense in the league. And then Quick is going to have to stand on his head for them to be any higher than this. So he is able to do that, but I'm not sure if he's going to do it. Especially he'll probably face a little bit more shots because don't have as good of a team last year. So 6th, I have the Arizona Coyotes. So their top players are still pretty young. That's the only reason I picked them to be this far down. They did prove last year that they can surprise quite a few teams, but with average goaltending, I don't think they'll go any higher. They might be pretty competitive 2 years. I would say in 2 years for sure they should be competitive, but they might need to get a better goaltender than Smith. Then last would be Vancouver, which some people might disagree, but I think that they have a good enough first line, but the Sedins are getting old. They are going to be 36. And Eriksson had his bounce back year last year, but he hasn't had a very impressive last 4 years, I think it is. So I don't know if I wouldn't put a lot of money on that he's going to get 60 to 65. He most likely could with the Sedins especially, but they've also slowed down and haven't produced as much as they did in the past. I don't think that defense is very good. They don't have very many puck-moving defensemen like Grabranstrom. The defense they traded for Florida and Hutton are both big stay-at-home defensemen, so that's not really going to help their offensive. And Markstrom, I don't believe he can be a starter, at least not yet. He hasn't put up the numbers at least. And Miller's last year didn't prove too well, so I don't think he's going to have a bounce back year either. So I think they're going to finish pretty low in the standings. Could actually be one of the bottom 3 teams, I believe. It just depends on how much that first line can do for them, and I don't think that they're going to do very well though. So like this video, subscribe, comment on what videos you might want me to do, if any. I will take any comment really. I will read all my comments and I usually respond to them all. And have a nice day.